Which brings us back to the bass player.
What?
So we're gonna do the same thing with you. So I wanted to kind of get your take on your approach for the Disruptive Paradigm stuff versus what you did with SIs, with the songs. And the pudding in the cups.
I tried so with this band, like
some Cosby jokes.
it's kind of been like this is kind of the band that I've always wanted to do, where it's not just one specific genre, and as I've been in more bands here and there, like I always tried to, when I was younger, I always wanted to be like, look at that guy, he's really good. Like, look at all that crap he does. To where now it's sometimes in Shed and stuff, like even some of the stuff I did necessarily didn't help the song writing process. Like, it was just like, oh, look what I can do. I'm 16, 17. I can do this stuff, but I still don't know what I'm doing. To now being 32, going, all right, what is more important for this song? Like, it's not about my ego, but like if I write kind of a cool riff, it's not because like I want to be like, hey, look at me, look what I can do, because I still don't know what I'm doing. Like, it's more or less like, this part sounded cool in my brain, let's see if I can actually play it. Yeah. Or if one of you guys has an idea and I'll sit there, for example, with Cactus, you wrote that riff. And, like, you had it as a fast, thrashy riff. And I was like, pump the brakes.
Oh, shit, that's right.
Pump the brakes.
I was going to bring that up earlier, that was one of the things you guys changed. That song was, like, twice as fast before.
Yeah, it was super fast. And I was like, pump the brakes. Let's go a little slow. And, like, as I was trying to, like, figure out the riff, then I can't remember, one of you guys was like, well, let's have it be more of a bass-driven song. And I was like, oh, okay. So then it was that. Like, I only have, like, 3 or 4 riffs in that song, while you guys as guitarists go all over the place. So it's kind of cool like that, where you can still have a cool riff, but still just be the background kind of, aspect of it. So, but then also with like the SI songs that we were coming in and learning, I would ask, Len, like, hey, how did Marcus or Tony play this riff? I don't know. It's like, okay. Well, what are you playing? And I'll just kind of like figure it out from there, because like I kind of like would listen and hear some of this stuff, but I couldn't pick up what they were actually playing. But I feel like I still brought an essence of what was kind of there, to where it didn't, if either of them were to hear the songs that were playing live that they wrote, where they won't be like, fuck that guy, he's done playing my stuff. Like, as someone personally who has seen someone else play one of their own, a song that they wrote from an old band, and see it live, it's really interesting. Like you kind of get all giddy, like hee hee hee. Like, yeah, they're not playing it right, but they're doing what they can do to it, because they have their own signature style and tone and whatnot, and like how I try to really go with my bass playing for this stuff is kind of more like how Dimebag Darrell writes his guitar riffs. They're not always the most complicated, crazy riff, but like they're there for a purpose, and it's just kind of like, yeah, that's the meat and potatoes of it. To then where, all right, this is an open spot where I can do some cool little flair thing. Another good example is the riff for Failure. I didn't write that, you wrote it. And I was just sitting there trying to figure out, how am I going to play this riff without my hands hurting? And then, like, I decided to just start slapping it, and you guys were like, oh, God damn it.
Now you're going to be more important.
Yeah, so, like, I was trying to... Because, like, on that song, at least, like, I didn't really want to be just kind of, like, playing the root note all the time, because I've now done that more and more with some of the songs. Like, and I still play the root note on some parts, but like that riff was really cool and I wanted to learn it. And I was like, oh, what if I did this? And it tonally shifted the whole kind of like song at first. But yeah, it's really cool and interesting to try to like learn someone else's stuff, but still try to make it your own thing. and try to at least, as you said, kind of pay homage. Like, these guys wrote this stuff. I don't want to totally like shit on them and be like, no, I didn't like what you played. I'm gonna play this instead.
Even if I paid now.
What?
You paid for it? No.
Yeah, and that's been kind of instrumental to the development of the songs in general for everybody. There's always been like little things that somebody will do, and somebody else goes, "Hey, actually, can you do this a little bit more and this and a little bit more?" And it kind of helped evolve the songs. And unfortunately for us, and fortunately for the people who get to view them more than once, it still happens to this day. Sorry, somebody dropped the soap. But basically, we had the the pleasure of recording these songs, but now we're still finding little things here and there that kind of tweaks that feel a little bit better, and we throw them in when we play them live. So, as far as the guitar approaches to a lot of these, there were
waiting. When are we going to get to you? Because you basically wrote most of this stuff.
Well,
I don't think a lot of people know that a lot of the songs are actually written by you.
Well, not the SI stuff. Those are you guys.
What?
I didn't, unless you guys were like somehow like reading.
Well, we're going to take the
or
SI
something.
songs and then throw them in the Scott blender.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate.
That's
Yeah.
what happens. And so, I mean, I approached a lot of the songs from trying to think of things I always thought was really cool of styles that I thought people did. And I was like, you know what? I want to write songs involving things I've always liked that different people did. So I just would kind of come up with riffs that go, hey, I like things that sound like this. And I'd throw a little riff together. I'd be like, hey, I like things that sound like this. I want what they sound like together. And I'd throw them together. And that's how I kind of came up with a lot of the riffs for STB. And that's why it's so disjointed sometimes. If it was broken down into like playing it one riff at a time and stopping, it would sound like different songs as you broke it down. But you mash it together and somehow it still works.
I mean, what I really like about STB, and other than it was like one of the first original songs we all wrote together initially, is just the sheer fact of everyone we showed that song to had no idea how to talk to us, or like they were just like, how'd you guys write that? And we were like, I don't know.
Yeah, they never heard anything like it.
We just we just threw it at the wall, and then we were like, okay, that sounds cool, that sounds cool, that sounds cool. And again, we were like, let's write a song that we would have never been able to write in the previous band we were all in.
See, I always think this is why we don't see many people bouncing around at the shows we play, because everybody's too busy going, what the fuck?
Yeah. So
there's so much going on, I have to pay attention to the music.
I mean, even with the songs that were SI songs, like we still kind of like tweaked with some little parts here and there. Well, those are still the most cohesive per se songs, like the most linear.
Yeah. Well, the writing process in SI was always keep it simple, stupid.
Right. And like, and that's kind of how I'm making it more for like bass writing, as at least for me. It's like you need to be able to play this live. You need to be able to play it 80% accurate every time you play it, and you need to be able to play it different levels of inebriation or mind altered. So like
something you have to put into the equation.
Oh, I will
playing
not
live.
be drinking and trying to.
yeah. No one's asking you to. I'm talking about me.
Yeah.
I'm talking about me because like
troubled.
Specifically, he's talking about him upcoming Saturday.
Yeah.
It's gonna be interesting.
Yeah.
Nice Swedish shot.
Oh, please don't. Wait till after I'm done playing.
After
Yes,
the set,
then buy
they handed,
Swedish
like
Show.
30 or 40 of them.
Like this is one thing also no one wants to believe me on. I have terrible stage fright. I get jitters, almost panic attacks, like happening. So like, if anyone is listening to this that will then be at the show and sees me kind of being a different version of a dick, because I'm normally just an asshole, but like if I'm very off-putting and like reserved, and until I'm done playing, I will be that guy, because my brain is like set to, I need to do the show, especially because it's like oh geez, it's the birthday show. Like it should just be another show, but like it's just going to hit me where I'm gonna be like, ugh. Like, so I might accidentally get too drunk beforehand, but I'm gonna really work on not doing that. We'll see who gives me what, but I'll be like, nope. Like,
Take
yeah.
a spool of tickets. They can just take a number after the show.
But, Skip, so let's get to you, since we've talked to everyone else about, in a sense, the songwriting process differing between, at SI to the Disruptive Paradigm stuff that we brought in and to the two new ones. With you kind of like hearing what we brought to the table, how did your writing process differ between the stuff for SI and the stuff currently?
I'll let you know once I come up with a cohesive plan for how to write songs. Because there's more. I mean, it really, I don't know. I just kind of I have to hear a melody in my head first. I don't think anything really changed necessarily in the way I write.
Mm-hmm.
If at all possible, I like to hear as much of the finished product as I can get. Little guitar intricacies, sometimes I'll just like focus on something as small as that. And writing with Len, sometimes hearing a melody, if I get stuck, hearing something he does will be a catalyst. But it can sometimes be a really tiny thing to catch in my ear, and otherwise, if a riff is just kind of humdrum, if there's one little thing that really catches me, that'll be the inspiration for the melody.
Have you found experience has also played quite a factor? Because a lot of the stuff from SI was some stuff that you've had for a while now, and the Disruptive Paradigm stuff was things that you've had to more recently venture into. So I think for you, maybe some of the experience also kind of helped too, just knowing where you were coming from and how to kind of approach each song as you were learning them.
Well, a lot of the SI stuff that got carried over, even before I was in SI, a lot of that stuff got carried over from before, because the first project I did it really wasn't anything spectacular, didn't go anywhere. So now there are bits and pieces and clips that I have from before, but a lot of this will be all brand new, and now I'm writing from the perspective of a soon-to-be 37-year-old man.
37.
Jesus, I'm old.
But and to get the wrap up, since we're already on you, to get the final thoughts on this whole album as the 7 songs, which is your favorite song to do live?
Oh God, I don't know my favorite song. I don't know. I enjoy Royal. I enjoy Skeletal, just because that's real personal for me.
It's hard to think that song's almost 10 years old. You realize that?
Which one, Royal?
Skeletal. Skeletal's the oldest song on the album, and it's almost 10 years
vocally,
old.
it's older than that.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
What's your least favorite?
Fuck, I don't know.
Least favorite?
To perform live.
Get out of here with that.
What puts the most pressure on you live?
Every song is amazing.
He's trying to start some
What the
Metallica
Lord
drama.
said.
And I was actually going to say favorite could replace with easiest and hardest to perform live.
Yeah, there you go.
STB is a lot of fucking fun to play. I don't know about the least favorite. I think the least favorite has been summarily roll into a ball and
Shoved
shot in
in.
a cannon, out of a cannon. So
we.
And folks, please keep in mind, we've had to pull away tables and other objects from Skip so that he doesn't have things to focus on other than the songs.
the table will return.
So then let's round this up. As Scott was saying, Scott, what's your favorite song that you like playing live?
For me, I've always enjoyed playing STB because I'm most comfortable with it. It's not really even just I like it the most or anything like that, or it's just I'm so comfortable with that song that now that I remember there's a volume pedal involved in my effects and I make sure it's on at all times, I'm able to play that song with ease, and it's just comfortable for me. As far as the hardest one, to this date, it's still the bearer of a problem has always just been failure because I kind of shifted how I played that.
Well, that's your own fault.
Well, it was actually because of the bass playing on that.
Whoa, hey, whoa, hey.
Yeah, when he started to slap at the bass and we wanted that to be more instrumental in the song, I kind of started taking the lines that I'm doing with him. Instead of doing in such a basic manner, I wanted them to be a little more percussive and follow what the bass was doing. So I kind of shifted it to be a little bit more up and down in tempo as far as following what the bass was doing. But that's for me. What about you?
My favorites, like STB, like that's been the funnest song to play for me, like in a long time. Like I don't know if it's just because of like the situation on how we wrote it, but I also just really like the fact that anybody who first sees us and then sees that song, it's still just like what was that? Like
Yeah.
because it starts at like level 25 and then it ends at like level 100. There's no even like getting up to it. It just fucking hits you in the dick. And I'd have to also say Cactus is a real fun song. I mean, I like the change in that where, you know, it feels, it has this grooviness and then it kind of gets into like this Deftonesy, like, you know, adrenaline around the Fur era Deftones. And then out of nowhere it goes all super kind of thrashy to then like this awesome melodic outing, like, which I feel is a bunch of our strengths. If it's gonna go into the least favorite songs, we got rid of the least favorite song.
Well, it's your roughest ride. What's your roughest ride, Life?
Oh, dude, probably Cactus. Like that's a doozy on the hand because it's just playing that, you know, those 3 or 4 riffs just over and over again. Like, so that song needs to be towards kind of the end of the set, so my hands are more worn up.
Yeah, we can't open with that one.
What about you, Jeff? I know you're probably going to sound a little bit similar to his.
Pretty close, yeah. No, definitely STB is still one of my favorites. I mean, just the reactions we've gotten from people. You know, like we play that. Either we play that as the first song, and like people who haven't seen us before just have no idea what we're about, and we come out with that one, and people are just blown away by it. I mean, like the first time we ever played that song, the band before us like closed with a more melodic song, and then we came out swinging with STB, and they came up to me afterwards and like, Jesus Christ, you could have warned us you were going to start with something like that. We would have ended with a harder song. So that was pretty funny. I really enjoy Failure a lot. There's a lot of movement and different, you know, there's 4 different time signatures in that song.
You're the one that counts.
I'm the only one who gives a shit about that.
Right behind you. Hope we catch up.
But I really like
play this riff this many times.
I really like the movement and flow of that song, and that really I get to do pretty much everything I like to do on the drums in one song in that song.
What's your roughest ride, Live?
If I'm not fully warmed up or I'm having an off day, Cactus. That's just continuous playing for me. I don't have a lot of breaks. I'm mostly playing like 16ths the whole way through, so I'm just like my hands are just moving that whole fucking song. So if I'm having a bad hand day, that's kind of rough. But
what about you?
Solange.
What about you, Jalen?
What?
Jalen,
Excuse me?
Jerome Poo.
Lenny Pants.
I hate you. Royal is the most fun to play because that song's like the easiest for me now that I'm playing guitar and singing. That has the easiest riffs in it, so I can kind of like go, okay, I can just think about singing. I don't have to worry so much about what's happening with guitar. Cactus, yeah, again, like everybody else, is the most technical. song, especially trying to sing and play, I'm literally having to look, at the fret hand and pay attention to what I'm doing through most of the song. But it's also also like that song because of the different breaks in it and the melodic breakdown and the vocal section that I have there was something that I'm proud of, because it was one of those things where I was like, oh, I'm not sure if I can do this, and then it ended up being like, oh, I can do this. and then I took it another step further when on the recording I came up with the harmonies, and I was like, oh, I can do that too. That's cool. I'm glad I can do that. So that song is, while difficult, is also one of my favorites.
What's your roughest ride to do live?
Cactus is
Cactus.
it's kind of a weird thing. Like, yeah, it's the most strenuous song, but it's also one of my favorites.
Sounds like we all have a love-hate relationship with
Yeah.
that song.
Yeah, it's appropriately named, I think.
Not love-hate, but love. This is a problem.
I mean, I think that's that.
All relationships are work.
That's
Yeah,
right.
to pretty much close it out, I think that's the best thing about it. Like,
Yeah.
there's songs that we still don't have down 100%, even though we wrote them and recorded it. But anyway, it's good talk, guys. So please remember, our next show is Saturday, September 24th at O'Malley's in Mountain View. It's a free show. Doors are at 7:30, and so first band goes on at 8 o'clock. Again, the lineup goes Panhandlers Union, Name, Disrupt the Paradigm, Star Destroyer, and Domitium closes out. It's going to be really fun. I'd really like to see a lot of people at the show. Support these bands that either haven't been playing that much or that they're from like out of town. A lot of the guys are going to be, I believe, are going to be playing some newer music as well. Star Destroyer just came out with a really good EP that everyone should go out and listen to. I know Domitium is working on some new stuff. I don't know if they'll have anything ready for the show. Name is finishing up recording their album, or it's in the process of being mixed and mastered, and they've just finished filming a music video. I don't know if that's going to be released by then either, but you should really go check out those boys. They're really fucking good. And then Panhandlers Union are two of my good buddies. There's three guys in the band, but I've never met the actual bass player yet. But Aaron and Jordan, they've been working on this project pretty hard and extensively since the sad demise of NVS. So it's going to be a good show. You're gonna get your metal on. It's going to be a bunch of different diverse metal bands. Panhandlers Union also is, what do they call themselves?
Murder Folk.
Murder Folk. There we go. They are a banjo and acoustic guitar player. If you like groups such as Amigo the Devil, maybe even like kind of like an acoustic Dax Riggs, you should go ahead and check them out. All right,
And if you skipped ahead and you passed through a lot of content and you want to get to the TLDL at the end here, album writing hard. There you go.
Yeah.
All right, thanks a lot.
Have a good night.